uh, we stopped where? قال وأنكحوا الأيام منكم وأنكحوا الأيام منكم. وأنكحوا الأيام. They said أيام in Arabic. يعني this word is used for men and women. هي صفة مشتركة. قال الذين لا أزواج لهم من الرجال والنساء. Those who are not married. He said قال من عبادكم وإمائكم. Even if you have a slave, somebody under your care, you have to let him marry. Allow him to get what? To get married. Look at that. Because they are human too. Somebody can be a slave, but at the same time had the reason to what? To get married. They get married when they are slave. And a woman could be slave, but the same one she's married to what? To somebody else. Not even her master. If she's married to somebody, this somebody is her husband. But if it's not married, the master can use her. هذه ما ملكت إيه. But both of them cannot work. She's married and يطأها يعني سيدها لا. So what this ayah is telling us? It's telling us وَأَنْكِهُ الْأَيَامَ. Ayama, the one who is not married. وَالصَّالِحِينَ مِنْ عِبَادِكُمْ. الصَّالِحِينَ مِنْ عِبَادِكُمْ. الصالحين is talking about the good people of your slave. I mean, إذا كانوا صالحين فيجوز تزويجهم ولكن لا ترغيب فيه ولا استحباب كما قال. قال والصالحين من عباد. عباد is someone who is a slave. Al-ima, that's a male slave. Al-ima is a female what? Slave. You see, al-ayama and ima is not the same. It's not the same word. They are very. We said ayama in Arabic. It means someone who is not married. Even Sharia is telling us here we have to let them marry. Even according to this ayah, the scholars said that a woman cannot marry herself. There has to be a wali who what? Who will be responsible for her marriage. A woman cannot just go and say, well, I am mature now. I can find a husband and marry myself without the consent of my what? My wali. Only Abu Hanifa said that, but the rest they said no. And they use this ayah. وَأَنْكِهُ الْأَيَامَ مِنْكُمْ وقال وَالصَّالِحِينَ مِنْ عِبَادِكُمْ وَإِمَائِكُمْ. Now, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِن يَكُونُوا فُقَرَاء يُغْنِهِمُ اللَّهُ مِنْ. Now, this one here, they said this ayah is not al-ima, it's not the slave. It's going back to who? To the free. Okay? Because we know slave doesn't have anything, right? He or she doesn't own herself. Then, and not only that, he and she are the property of their what? Of their master. That's how the things used to work. Alhamdulillah, we have few of them today. But that's how it works. Okay? We have to deal with the reality of life. It's not because Islam approved this. Okay? As you will see in this ayah, in this surah, we'll know that Islam tried to what? Get people out of what? Out of slavery. But the system was there before. And if you had told them to stop it, they may not even become what? They may not even become Muslim. Obviously, Islam came to make our slave against us. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had to deal with this and also encourage people to get out of what? Out of slavery. But they said this ayah, in yakunu fuqara yughnihimullahu, this is going back, qala raji'un ila al-ahrar. This is going back to the free, not the slave. Okay? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, do not refuse to get married if you think you are what? You are poor. You know, many people will say, oh, I don't have what? I don't have money to marry. But Allah will give you. Allah will provide for you. And there is a hadith here. He said, this hadith is repeated a lot, and I believe it's sound. قال ثلاثة كلهم حق على الله عونه. You have three types of people. It is incumbent upon Allah to what? To help them. Al-Mujahidu fi sabilillah. The one who goes for jihad, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa an-nakihu yuridu al-afafa. And the one who wants to get married to what? To fortify himself. To make himself what? Chaste. Al-afaf is what? Chastity, right? قال, the third one, وَالْمُكَاتَبُ يُرِيدُ الْأَدَاء. Al-Mukatib is the one who will go to his, we will come to that hukum today. What is Mukatib? Al-Mukatib min al-kitaba is the one who goes to his master, he's a slave. He said, listen, I want to free myself. Tell me how much I should give you. The guy will say, you give me $10,000. And I'm going to break it down for, the scholar said, it has to be broken down. Then you give him 5 years. $10,000 for 5 years. Every year give me $2,000. By the time you finish, you are what? You are what? You are free. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help you. You remember Salman al-Farisi, they sold him, right? He was sold. When he left Persia, Allah subhanallah, he was coming to Medina. He went with the caravan of Arabs. He said, are you going to Medina? They say yes. He was looking for the truth. And one of the priests told him, listen, I'm dying, but I will tell you the truth. There is a time now when the new prophet, the last prophet, will emerge, but he will be in Medina to make things easy. So he tried to travel to Medina. He found the caravan heading towards what? Al-Medina. And when they got to somewhere, the caravan sold him to somebody else, to a Jewish guy. You know, they wanted water. They didn't have enough money. They said, you know what? Give us some water and some extra money, and we give you this guy. He was still, he doesn't know what's going on. By the time they had to leave, they said, no, you're not leaving. That's how he became what? He became slave. And after that, alhamdulillah, Prophet Muhammad came and he became Muslim, and Prophet asked people to help him what? To help him free himself. So people can do that. It's called al-kitaba. Because in the virtue of this, we have to write something what? And agree upon it. Sometimes maybe if you don't write, you pay all the money that you are due, then your master said he didn't give me what? We did not even agree on what? No. So Allah will help these three type of people that we just mentioned. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is encouraging us here to get married, even if what? قال هذه الآية, this ayah, دلالة على تزويج الفقير. This ayah will show that we can even make those who are poor get married. ولا يقول كيف أتزوج وليس لي مال. Don't say, why am I getting married and I don't have what? And you remember the woman who came to Prophet sallallahu alaihi sallam, and she gave herself to who? The Prophet. You remember? وامرأة إن وهبت نفسها إن أراد النبي أن, but he didn't marry her. And one of the companions said, Prophet, if you don't desire her, give her to me. The guy had nothing. ولم يكن معه إلا إزار واحد. Ah, ah. He had only izar, something to just cover yourself, one cloth. But he asked him, what do you have? As Al-Quran, Al-Karim. The man said, I have this ayah, and then what? And their life was very easy. The scholar said, if you accept this kind of marriage, you're not going to end it because your husband is poor. Do you know what I mean? Huh? Because he was poor in the first what? In the first place. You came with a hardship. And you're not going to come, hey, my husband is, I cannot live like this. No. No. No, I'm just going to say that. The one who will say, I'm not going to be in this marriage, who came and things were a little bit easier. There was a food and he used to spend on her, and all of a sudden things went what? Went down, went sour. And she will say, well, I cannot live like this. You're not spending on me. Okay? This second one has the right to go to end the marriage, but it's not what? It's not the first one. Okay? قال قال ولذلك, this is why the scholar said, إنما يكون ذلك إذا دخلت على اليسار فخرج معسرا أو طرأ الإعسار بعد ذلك أن الجوع لا صبر عليه. He was when a woman comes, things are easy, and after that things become difficult. It's better for you to be patient. But if she is not, or maybe after so many years things are not getting better, she's not even getting food, she will have the right to what? To إما أن تطعم أو تطلق. But here, if you marry a poor person, he is poor already. قال تعالى وإن يكونوا فقراء يغنيهم الله من فضله. Okay. قال the scholar said إنما هذه الآية وعد بالإغناء لمن تزوج. Allah just promised you that He will make you rich, or He will give you something to satisfy yourself. Okay? It just, and wallahi, this is observed. You know, sometimes people start their life what? Very humble, right? Especially in the part of world we came from. Sometimes you find the couple, they don't have what? They don't have anything. And they start their life like that. And things start getting what? Getting better. Okay? Very important ayah. قال وليستعفف الذين لا يجدون نكاحا. Subhanallah. He said al-khitab. Now, how could he say here وليستعفف الذين in all circumstances? The one who cannot get married at all, what do? فليستعفف يعني كل من تعذر عليه النكاح ولا يجده بأي وجه تعذر أن يستعفف. Sometimes there is no way that somebody can get what? Can get married. Is poor and nobody is giving him what? A wife. What is he supposed to do? كن عفيفا. Okay. حتى يغنيهم الله من فضله, until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you of his Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you of his mercy. Now we come وَالَّذِينَ يَبْتَغُونَ الْكِتَابَ مِمَّا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُكُمْ. And those who will, now we come to the issue of kitab, and we'll talk a lot about this today. وَالَّذِينَ يَمْلِكُونَ يَبْتَغُونَ الْكِتَاب. Al-kitab here it means, it said that the deed of the writing. That's how the English translation was. But it means that this slave will come and decide to go to his master and say, I want to be free. Just tell me how much I should give you to make myself what? Free. Look at Sharia. Sharia is encouraging people to be what? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَكَاتِبُوهُمْ. فَكَاتِبُوهُمْ. It's like Amr. Do that for him. Sharia doesn't want you to remain what? Slave. قال تعالى فَكَاتِبُوهُمْ. Now, the word here, إِنْ عَلِمْتُمْ فِيهِمْ خَيْرًا. This word خير, a lot of tafsir. Some people said, if you think he's going to be a good person. Now, let's go back to some of the meaning of what? قال إِنْ عَلِمْتُمْ فِيهِمْ خَيْرًا. Abdullah ibn Abbas said, Al-Mal wal-Ada, if he can pay. Layth will say, Iqamatu salat wal khair. If you release him, if he finished to pay himself, is he going to be a good Muslim? At-Tahawi said, وقول أنه المال لا يصح عندنا. And إن علمتم فيهم الدين والصدق. Subhanallah. Some people say خير الدين والصدق, the truthful. But I think in situation like this, maybe if there is a goodness in releasing this man to become free for himself, will be good for himself and his faith, then what? Yes. Because remember, let's assume this. Nobody has a slave here before. But assume sometimes you see one of those, Allah is very good. It's like the story of Abdullah ibn Umar. Abdullah ibn Umar found one of those slaves. Very, very hungry. And his master was very bad. Doesn't pay him anything. He only gives him what? Food. And his wife became what? Sick. So he has to take a debt to help his wife. And despite this, he asked another debt from his master to pay the first one. The first debt. Could not. He said, I'm not going to give you anything except food to eat. And subhanallah, one day, Abdullah ibn Umar has come out, one of his friends. It was a very hot day. Then they saw this man. He was raising the, I call this, the sheep. And he was fasting too. He said, hey, let's come and eat. He said, I'm fasting. No, I'm sorry. They told him, hey, come here. They saw him in a very heat weather. Was raising the, how you call this? He was raising the sheep. Was grazing, giving them the grasses. That's it, grazing, right? Grazing, yes. Yeah, grazing. Yeah, when you take the sheep to graze, to eat. He said, hey, Abdullah ibn Umar wanted to test him. He said, young man, come here. He came. He said, can you sell us one of those sheep so we can, slaughter them and eat them? He said, unfortunately, I wish I could, but it's not mine. It's for my what? For my master. Abdullah ibn Umar wanted to test him again to see how good he is. He said, go and tell him one of them died because it's too hard and he will not know. He said, subhanallah, I will never do that. He said, why? Your master will never know. He said, well, if my master doesn't know, who will know? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then he went back. Abdullah ibn Umar realized that this man is an honest person. Subhanallah. And when he went home, he explained that to his wife. The wife said, you stupid man. You could have sold only what? And we will solve our debt problem. And after that, Abdullah ibn Umar went to see his master. He said, do you know this guy? He said, no, yeah, he's a very bad person. He said, no, it's not. The way I saw him, he's a what? MashaAllah. He said, how much you need for me to free him. He said, no, I'm not selling. When people want to raise the price, what they do, they pretend like they are. They're not selling. So he gave him a big amount of money, and he realized he sold him. And the master told this, he told him, congratulations, you have become a slave for who? For Abdullah ibn Umar. Abdullah ibn Umar said, no, I didn't free him to become what? Slave. Not only that, but the sheep he was grazing, he bought that again from what? For him. Not only he became free, but he had the sheep to what? To grow for himself. He was totally free because of his honesty. So sometimes someone could be under your care, and it's good for him. It's good for you to give him what? His freedom. I mean, imagine Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq, he freed Bilal bin Rabah, and that entailed to so many good things. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala means here. إن علمتم فيهم خيرا يعني إذا علمتم أنهم يعاملونكم على أنهم متعبدون بالوفاء لكم بما عليه من الكتابة والصدق في المعاملة. If you know that this young man is a good person, if he becomes free, it will be useful to him, he will be honest, and he's going to pay me whatever I'm asking. This is al-kitaba. And kitaba has a lot of hukum. I wanted to share that with you, inshallah. Okay? The first thing they said, اختلفوا في كتابة من لا حرفة له. What if do you know what kitaba means now? A slave person will come and ask you, he said, listen, I want to be free. Tell me how much I should what? I should pay you. And you have to break it down for me. I have to pay in what? In installments. Yes. And you tell him I will free you for $10,000 for 5 years. Every year you pay what? You pay $2,000. That is an agreement. Okay? This is allowed in Islam. Okay? But what if he doesn't have any profession? قال اختلفوا في من لا حرفة له. فكان ابن عمر يكره أن يكاتب عبده إذا لم تكن له حرفة. They said, if he doesn't have a profession, can you let him? If you say if you agree with him, how is he going to pay? That's a big issue. But and even al-ama is worse. The one who cannot earn by herself. If you tell her, I'm going to give you $10,000 to pay for for 10 years, every year you have to pay what? 2,000, and she doesn't have a profession. What do you think she's going to do? Huh? If she is not, if the woman is not qualified, it's more likely that she will commit something that is what? That is prohibited. So this is a big issue. Now, that is the first thing. Now, oh yes, هذا المكاهية الكتاب is a slave. We talk about all of that. Okay, when you say give me 10,000, you break it down for 5 years. Every year he's free a portion of what? Of himself, right? Huh? No, no. In situation like this, if you, it's not gonna be 100% for you. Now he has to be earning, so he has to be working to earn in order to free you. That's what it is. Yes, it's a very good question. It's not. I don't think it's going to be entirely for you. They didn't say if he has money, he will what? Automatically free himself. هذا يعتبر عتاقة وليست كتابة, right? If hey, listen, I have money, I'm a slave, just tell me how much I owe. Well, 10,000, right? This is your 10,000. I'm what? I'm free. That is not kitaba. That is what? It's called عتاقة من العتق. But if you give him, break it down, like we'll see the next one. قال الكتابة تكون بقليل المال وكثيره وتكون على أنجم. الأنجم means what? يعني منجما. الأنجم in Arabic, this word will repeat here a lot, which means something you what? You incrementally give to. I mean, because free slave is a lot of money. So it's a what? It's a lot of money. But it can be also, it can be partially what? Paid. قال وهذا ما لا خلاف فيه بين الايه العلماء. The scholars agreed upon that. Okay, والحمد لله. قال فلو كاتبه على 1000 درهم. For example, let's say he said 1000 dirham, and 1000 dirham is a lot of money at that time. But he did not mention how long he will have to pay the 1000 dirham. What are you going to do? We're going to look how much this guy earns, and we try to break it down according to his what? According to his income. Okay? Now we have two hukum. The first one, if it's not hirfa, it is not desirable to, but if he can earn, we can break it down for him, inshallah. Okay? قال المكاتب عبد. He will always be a slave. ما بقي عليه من مال الكتابة شيء. As long as the what? If this hadith is sound, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Al-mukatib abdun ma baqi alayhi min mukatabatih dirham." As long as you have something on your head, you didn't pay, you are still what? A slave. Now look, even this is being totally, fully explained in Al-Islam. They also agreed this mukatib, let's say he keep paying and paying and paying, and one of the month came, one of the year, the master stopped asking him to pay. قال لا يرجع. قال فإن الكتابة لا تنفسخ. Kitaba will never stop. You know, and when you pay and pay and pay, and the master started to do what? Not to ask you, what does he want from that? What do you think he want to do? Huh? He changed his mind. He doesn't want you to be free. Yeah. Sharia said no. Since you have made kitaba, you have to continue. Very, very important. Okay? Now, subhanallah. What if you give somebody the ability to free himself, and you agreed upon that, and he declined to pay you? He declined to what? To pay you. Then he will turn back to what? To slavery. Yeah. Huh? He couldn't pay. If we start at the beginning, we will come to that. That would be very complicated. You have paid a part of it, and there's what? There's a part that is not paid. Okay? We will talk about this today, inshallah, and nobody should get. Uh, this is part of life. It used to be there before, and Sharia did not neglect this part. And the issue that we are even talking about is al-kitaba, al-mukataba. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through this, is encouraging the slave to free themselves. And this was a big problem before. People used to be slaves because of the war, because of so many things. Okay? And sometimes they even sell people on the street. Yeah, you see somebody, they used to buy people. And all of them, they turn to be what? Slaves. How this other guy get it? That's another issue. Okay? We cannot skip the things until we know what are related to them. Okay? Very, very important. Now, whenever he finished paying what you told him, he will become automatically what? Free. And that's not going to be by any qadi or any judge. Okay? Once he finished paying, he will be free. Okay? قال. Now, can you even sell this loan? SubhanAllah, Sharia talks about everything. You know what that means? Somebody has made himself free. He was paying, let's say 10,000, and he paid you 5,000, and there's a 5,000 what? Left. And the first master will say, I'm going to sell that to somebody else, so he'll continue what? Do you know how we sell loans in this country, right? Huh? They do it. Even Sharia is talking about that. قال وأما بيع كتابته فغير جائزة وكان وجاز مالكم بيع الكتابة فإن أداها عتق وإلا كان رقيقا لمشتري الكتابة. SubhanAllah. You can even resell it to somebody. Some scholars said yes, some scholars said what? Did you understand what I mean? Yes. You paid part of it, and another part that is left, you said to somebody, keep paying this guy because I want my money. What? Now, what's the difference here? The difference is that the first master is going to have his money now, and the other guy will get it what? Later on. But al-kitaba is not going to change. Okay? It's going to be the same amount of money. I don't think the scholars will never allow to have an increase of what? Because whenever that is happening, it becomes what? You are selling loan for an extra loan. For extra, that will be what? This guy is going to be the new master. He has to keep paying him. He can only be free if he finish what? Yeah, the new guy. He's a master. Subhanallah. Yes. 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 Ibrahim can sell that to somebody else. He can sell it for you. Mm-hmm. Hmm? No, that's riba. That's bay'ul ayna. لا يقول العينة. Do you have his question? The new master comes and said how much? Yes. That's العينة. That's exactly what al-ayina means. There is a type of riba that is called al-ayina. إذا تبايعتم وتبعتم أذناب الإيه. What does he do? Ayina will come and say, I'm gonna give you, I'm gonna give you, uh, I'm gonna give you 4,000. Then I buy what? No, I will. What am I supposed to say? He will he will I don't know how to. He will sell something to you. Okay, he'll buy something to you for less, and he will sell it to you for more. But he's gonna charge this man what? Now we have gotten into a big issue. Huh? Maybe you never know how the price was. Yes. He is benefiting the. No, 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 no. He's not. Well, he has no intention to free. He wants to benefit from it. You don't know how much maybe the slave is overvalued. They do that. Let's say, for example, he bought the slave for 5,000, and now he's selling him for what? For 10,000. You see. So if you get half of that for 5,000, you are benefiting. Because if this man has no any benefit, he will not get into what? Into the contract. The new master we're talking about. Did you understand what I mean? Yes. And it is not confusing. The one who asked question is really it's a good question. The man can say, the second guy will say to the first one, right? He will say, listen, I know you need money now, but this money you're supposed to have it for the next 2 years or 3 years. I will give you that now so that I can get what? But I'm not going to give you everything. I'm going to give you for what? For 4,000. Yes. Subhanallah. It's a very good question. Huh? One thing I know in fiqh, if I take something from you we agreed upon, let's say a loan, let's say I come to you and I want $2,000. You did not impose anything on me. You give me qard hasan, okay? Then I come to you and say, thank you very much for what you gave me. I gave you 2,500. Is that haram? That's not haram. So what is happening here is that this man will just keep paying uh, what he is paying, but the guy is having it for what? Huh? والله هذا بيع الدين بالدين. ما هي العينة؟ You know, صاحب العينة, the one that came in the hadith of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is that this guy will come and sell something to you. Okay? He sells something to you, let's say for $5,000. بأجل. Okay? And he will buy it from you for less. He said, I'm going to sell this for 5,000, but since you need money now, the same person will buy it from you for what? For what? For 4,000. Then you benefit the cash now, and his debt is upon you, but he gets what? An extra. He gets the stuff, but he got it for what? Got it for less, and you will pay him for what? هذه هي العينة. That's what I know. But this issue, subhanallah, I think, I don't know if I'm going to change my mind. The guy, he bought it for less, and they're not increasing the price of what? نتوقف عند هذا. Yeah, the first owner. The first owner needs money. But he probably may not need a service. He needs service, but again, ultimately he's going to get what? He's going to get wealth. We still have not answered the question, right? Is it halal or haram that he buys it with less and keep what? They did not increase on the slave. I think it's a little bit different from ayina. Allahu alam. I think it's different from the ayina. I don't think this is haram. The slave is not being hurt by this at all. If the owner is the one who needs his money cash now, he said, listen, I will give it to you for less, then that is fine. Since the Sharia has allowed to resell the same loan, he's not involved in terms of payment, but he will shift the mastership will shift from one person to the other. Yes, me and Ibrahim and Umar, you're gonna have to look into this. قال Look what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. قال وآتوهم من مال الله الذي آتاكم. Subhanallah. You know what this means? Look at Sharia. We negotiate your price that you should give me, and I will give you a portion of it. Me, the master. Look at that. Do you understand what I mean? No. You give them. This is sadaqah.
When you finish paying the 10,000, they will give you.
No. That's an issue. What are you going to be? You're going to pay it in the first, or you're going to pay at the what? At the end. The scholars said it's better for you to pay at the end than what? Because, the first payment of everything is easy. The guy has incentive, but the last payment, what? Who declined their mortgage? It's happened when? It happened at the end or the beginning? At the beginning. The scholars said, hey, let him pay until when he's getting to end, help him. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, hey, وَآتُوهُم مِّن مَّالِ اللَّهِ الَّذِي. Subhanallah. They even say, one of the companion, sometimes you can come and try to negotiate to be free, and the master will say no. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said no. وكاتبوهم إن علمتم فيهم خيرا وآتوه من مال الله الذي آتاكم. Which means even help him free him what? Free himself. Look at that. You will never find that in any faith, in any system. How can I go to the bank, I'm taking a loan, and they help me with my first what? With my first payment. Did that happen? It doesn't happen. Subhanallah. قال وآتوهم مما لله الذي آتاكم. قال ولا تكرهوا فتياتكم على البغاء. Subhanallah. They said this ayah was revealed about Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Sulul. He had two slave women, and he used to force them to go and commit what? A zina, to bring him what? Money. And not only that, in case if the pregnancy happens, he's not only getting money out of the adultery, but he will have a new slave. SubhanAllah, look at that. And they complain about, they went to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and complain about him. They said, hey, this man is forcing us to commit what? Adultery. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, in aradna tahassuna. If they want to, if they want chastity for themselves, that this woman don't want to commit what? Adultery. And you cannot force them to. And Abdullah ibn Abi Sulul, he came to the Prophet and said, Prophet Muhammad, let's say, I'm trying to make what? I'm trying to make money. Not only that they said in that time, if when this woman commits adultery and she become pregnant, because it's adultery, slave woman is not even married to someone with whom he's going to commit what? Adultery. It's adultery. But sometimes a child could come out of what? Adultery. And the child, when you come and reclaim the child, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, you will have to pay like 100 camel in order for you to have this what? This child. So in both cases, who is benefiting here? The master is benefiting. The woman comes with the money, and in case if she becomes what? Pregnant, then the pregnancy, the child also, because remember, if a woman becomes slave, the child that she will come will what? They will only be free if the master dies. That's what we call in fiqh ummahatul awlad. You never heard about that. They are called ummahatul awlad. So Prophet Muhammad prohibited that. قال ولا تكرهوا فتياتكم على البغاء إن أردنا. Why تبتغون عرض الحياة الدنيا? Exactly. Prophet Muhammad, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said here that the only reason you are doing this is simply because you want to make what? You want to make wealth. Okay? قال ومن يكرههن. Not only that, if you force them, فإن الله من بعد إكراههن غفور رحيم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I can even forgive you after you force them. Today mostly we talk about Al-Kitab. Okay? And we learn from it that Islam helped the slavery to come out, to people to come out of slavery. And one of the best way is to do Al-Kitab. You go and have a contract with the master, and in order to get out of, we tell you a sum of money that you should pay, and it has to be incrementally paid, a little by little, inshallah. We will stop there and open up the door for the next 15 minutes for any question. I did not delve into the next ayah because it's a separate issue. I think this is the most important ayah in this ayah. Allahu nuru samawati wal ard. Barakallahu fikum wa assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. نعم ولقد أنزلنا إليكم آيات بينات. I revealed to you, we can start from there inshallah. Okay? ومثلا من الآيات ومثلا من الذين خلوا من قبلكم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us the verses to know, to let us know that He has revealed to us many verses, an example of those who came before us, and also وَمَوْعِدَةً لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Okay? Inshallah. Barakallahu fikum. If we have any